You ask about lukewarm Christians, those who start off with a relationship with Jesus, and then it becomes separated from their daily life and withers away, and their daily life takes over, and they become Christians merely by name. This is something which I have often noticed myself, even in monasticism. You find young monks brothers become a monk, become full monks, and then after some time they start to fit into the groove, the daily groove of the monastery. Their work or their routine overtakes them, and they lose that first fire of monasticism. So it's not only town Christians, people who are living in parishes and still working in their jobs, who feel it, but also some monks succumb to this pressure of daily life to let their first fire go down. And when I'm asked sometimes by boys, tell me a kilmat minfar, tell me a word of life, the only thing I usually say, and I repeat it many times, is that try to keep your fire burning. Try to keep your first fire alive. This is a human condition, I must say. You look at marriage. I mean, how many marriages start off passionately? The engagement, the falling in love, and the first months. And then the marriage itself happens, and they start to live together. The first few years of sexual relations, and having the first children, and everything is going well. Then the struggle for money, the struggle for a house, the struggle to keep the daily life going, and the romance dies, and the marriage becomes a thing of habit. So I think it's a human condition, even in a job. The first job that you take after school, yeah, you are so good to have money in your pocket, and even if you have a career, a profession, not just a job, but suppose you have a profession. At first you become wanting to know everything, and then you advance and you get to a certain level, and then you start to take it easy and to just repeat the same things which you have done to get when you were getting where you were. So I think the failure of an initial fire in the face of a long period of daily life is a part of the human condition, and it covers everything: work, marriage, religion, prayer life, spiritual life. It covers all of this. It takes a great effort, I think, on the part of every individual to recreate himself every morning. And in the Bustan there's one little word, one little line which says, Abba Pior, he used to say every day, I made a new beginning to my life. And I've often, well, not just often, but I always do this. Every day when I wake up, after I pray the Mass at midnight, I go back at 2 o'clock to my cave, 2:30, and I sleep from 3 till 6. I never pray morning prayer without saying, Lord, this is a new day. This is the first day of the rest of my life. You made me, you give me yourself, you give me life. I recreate my life every day with the sunrise. I pray at sunrise, and I see the new day being born, and I accept this as a sign to me of my new life. So it's a struggle. I think it's an effort in every sphere of life, but if you're conscious of it, and you are making every effort you can to use signs and any symbols and any little experiences which can renew you, then you will survive. For example, in professional life or in married life, the institution of holidays is a very good thing. You take holidays to recharge your batteries, to get yourself going again. In spiritual life, it should be prayer. It should be a self-starting thing. Prayer should restart your machine every day. You should get yourself out of your rut, if you fall into one, by renewing your prayer, by pushing it. Don't pray your prayers, and don't let your prayer become routine. If you find that, stop it. If you find that you have got so used to your Agbeya, or you've got so used to some form of prayer that you have taken as your rule, stop it for a week. and start something else. And come back to it, so that you give yourself a new push, a new lease of life. Yeah? It's a difficult problem, but it's something which we must fight against. It's a war. I think the war against the Laodicean. You remember the churches in the book of Revelation? The fault of the church of Laodicea was that it was lukewarm, that it was sitting on the fence. It was neither yes or no, and Jesus was very angry of this. I spit you out of my mouth, because you are neither yes or no, not hot nor cold. So it's a fault. It's a very great spiritual fault to be without fire. So I think better to be aware of it, and to give yourself a break at some point, and to go away from your usual situation, to get out of your usual situation and have a new experience, and which will then give you a greater affection for you. About confession and spiritual guidance.